The road to becoming extremely rich with cryptocurrencies will not be easy. Let me tell you this. If you'd put $100 in the crypto market all the way back in 2010, you'd right now have $2.3 billion. Now, that on its own sounds really good, and it makes me think of the guy who bought $40,000, I believe, back in 2011 and was able to turn it into $8 or $9 billion right now in 2025. But one crucial thing that many people seem to overlook is just how difficult that journey would have been. And I want to take you in on a little bit of the roller coaster that you would have gotten going on for yourself. Because you've got to realize, from 2010 up till now, there have been many bull markets and many bear markets, right? As the market generally moves up for about 3 years, down for a year, up for 3, down for a year. So by that logic, oh boy, let's take a little bit of a look at this. So just for fun, right? Just as a thought experiment, you started out with $100, and pretty quickly it would have probably gone to like 1,000 because, hey, you were pretty freaking early. It was 1,000. Matter of fact, in that run, just the first run you had, it actually already went to $1.7 million. So that was pretty good. You all of a sudden are a millionaire and you started with nothing, right? Or even if it was slightly less, you get it, right? Maybe you put $1,000 in. It's just to give some sort of idea. You had a freaking $1 million right now. But instead of clicking the cash out button, you still decide to leave it in because you really believe in your BTC, I guess, right? Now, again, I think most people that bought this early did see some potential in it. But then again, if you only put $100 in it, and all of a sudden, a little while afterwards, it's 1.7 million. Yeah, I think that's quite tempting for a lot of people to cash out. Anyway, you didn't. And now all of a sudden, your money is all the way back down to $170,000. So from 1.7 mil to 170,000. Again, still not bad. You still have 200K. But can't really buy a house no more, right? You could have bought a freaking mansion before that. So you're feeling pretty bad because you're down 90% on your money. Hey, you've still done really, really good from your $100, but you're down tremendously. Now, afterwards, though, and this is kind of cool, it went from 170 to perhaps like 110 million. It did 1,000x the next season. Woo, sheesh. You're loving it. But keep in mind, right, that you have again seen your portfolio go from 170,000 to 300,000 to 500,000 to 1 million to 2 million to 3 million to 4 million to 5 to 6 to 7. You got to understand, you still see every freaking million. Maybe sometimes it skips a few because the market moves up so violently. But you still got to understand that even though it went from 170K to 110 million in that run, it also hit all the other $1 million marks. Anyway, so you see it go all the way towards 110 million. You then see it drop to 18 mil. And again, I want to quickly for fun show you the Bitcoin chart here that at that point, the amount of movement the price sees every single day, right? And this is all the way back in time, but still, the amount of movement you see every single day should make you realize that this is now not a fun game no more. Let's just say you had $10 million as an example, right? Within this week right here, just within that week alone, you see the price go up 130, 140%. If you had $10 million right there, the next week, all of a sudden you had 23 million, right? And let's just say that at this top, it was worth, 35 million. All of a sudden, it went down 70% in just, again, 2 more weeks. So you can get it, right? You're playing a freaking game of games right there. Anyway, after you saw your 110 million, you see it go all the way back down to 18 mil. You still did nothing. Then you saw it go from 18 mil back to 110, and now crossing it go all the way towards 390 mil. You didn't do anything though, and right now it's all the way back to 85 mil. At that point, you decided that, at 85, why even cash it out, right? Keep in mind that you started with $100, but still at 85 million right now, even though it's down, again, tremendously, 80% down, you still decide to hold it. Then you see the value finally cross $1 billion. And remember, guys, when you started here with 85, this run, it crossed $1 billion at some point. But no, you actually held it all the way to 1.6 billion, where it again peaked out, went back down, went all the way back down to 390 mil, then still did nothing. Even though you saw your billionaire status being taken away from you, you still did nothing. And then you saw the price, or I guess your coins, reach $2.8 billion. And then for some reason, finally decided this is time. And I always like this post that states there's only 3 scenarios in which this happens. 1, you're already incredibly rich and 100 million doesn't even move the needle for you. So you literally forgot about the $100 you bought as a joke, or even if it hits some $100 million, you're like, let's see where this goes. 2, you're incredibly lucky and you actually only found your key like 15 years later. I guess number 3 is you went to freaking jail. Or number 4, you clearly have some sort of mental disability, which is probably the case for 99% of people that got into this position that knew they had their coins. Because again, it's different if you thought you lost them or you went to jail, right? Those two I don't think count really, or you wanted to keep them secret for some reason. But you really knowing you have a freaking $100 million right there on a stick, and then seeing that go to 10 million, for example, and then seeing that go to 1 billion, and still deciding to do nothing. It really begs the question of what is enough to somebody, right? Is 1 billion is not the moment to be like, oh, okay, I'm done. Because the other guy with the 40,000 Bitcoin, or maybe it was 100,000, 80,000 Bitcoin, I don't remember exactly, right? But let's just say it was 40,000 Bitcoin. I think it was 80,000. Because I was going to say, why all of a sudden at $8 or $9 billion is like, okay, this is now good. This is now enough. Like, at what point is that good? Anyway, the point here is, you really don't understand, for the most part, I think a lot of people don't, just how hard it is to turn $100 into billions mentally. Theoretically speaking, I still believe that most people that enter right now, specifically the ones who use some higher leverage, I'm not saying you should, right? I'm not your financial advisor, I'm making no guarantees, but I'm saying a lot of those people can really do some crazy numbers over time. Just like how somebody who started trading the S&P like 5 years ago could have probably turned $10,000 into $1 million in these 5 years if they were actually on it, because the S&P is up just so terribly much. It's done some crazy numbers, right? But then still the art there is to capitalize on those gains by either selling the top and buying back in, for maximum efficiency, or just still accepting that this is still little for where we eventually want to be. And that's what I always say about my trades, and why I don't mind going from $400,000 profit to $200,000 profit, just seeing it go up and down, because I know where it will eventually lead. And by the way, if you're into trading, I've got some links down below here, by the way. Bluefin is what I always use for trading, and Payonix is where I do all my bots on. And as a motivational post, I always keep this Aguila Trades thing open nowadays. It's just one of the most known traders over on Bybit. He's the #1 last year, and he basically clocked $100 million from just pretty simple longing. I mean, he also had some shorts, sure, but those that didn't have the best of ratios. And obviously, the majority of the profit came from longing, and it makes you realize, theoretically speaking, all thus far you had to do was just be a perma bull. Anyway, before I move on, there's something I talked about a few times earlier in the year that I saw as something quite interesting, right? Maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but it's Upexi. They're basically a publicly traded NASDAQ company who have the largest treasury of Solana, currently holding like 2 million Solana, I think 1.9 million Solana to be exact. Nope, they changed it. You can see right here, Solana treasury company Upexi surpassed 2 million in SOL holdings. That is 2 million Solana, not dollars. And earlier in the year, they came out with this press release saying Upexi shifts focus into Bitcoin and crypto with strategic investment in digital currency as part of long-term strategic crypto initiative. And I've said this for a while, right? They really know what they're doing with this. It just keeps working, it keeps working, it keeps working. Take a look at the year-to-date results. Now, a little bit after they came out with an announcement saying they announced the closing of a $100 million private placement, of which approximately 5.3 mil was for working capital and debt reduction, while the rest was used to basically buy Solana. And then they made an announcement saying, they bought 50k Solana. And to me, that's really crazy. The fact that they've already been able to grow it from like 45,000 all the way to above 200,000 Solana. And actually are also staking it to also generate revenue. I think it's just going to be the new freaking standard. They apparently also bought some discounted locked Solana and surpassed $100 million worth of SOL holding, becoming the largest, the #1 to freaking do it. They apparently purchased 326,000 locked Solana at an average price of $135, and they now hold 600,000 Solana if you count those as well. Damn. And now the most recent press release was Upexi announces the $500 million equity line agreement with AGP to accelerate the growth of its Solana treasury strategy. Man, these guys know how to raise capital and know how to freaking put it in the right place, huh? Having said that, very often when I right now look at news, right, one of the most interesting pieces that comes to mind is that people don't really seem to care as much about all these massive announcements that are coming out for all these massive coins, or all these companies that are making some sort of new news get out there. And I think that's really because of the season. I think as the crypto market changes, yet again, all of a sudden people will also find themselves a lot more glued to their screen to see whatever announcement comes out. Specifically when the market's really, really hot, people care about what could move the needle. Like right now, why are all these coins up or down? For the most part, people don't really know. There's no real catalyst. It's just, oh, the market's pretty good, so we're expecting our coins to mostly also be up. And we expect them to be down, mostly based on Bitcoin going down or macro. Macro here meaning that Bitcoin all of a sudden decided to kick the bucket or something of the sort. But generally speaking, we expect it to slowly but surely move up. So then a good question comes though, as the market really starts to pick up, which coins do you buy over which ones, right? Again, I'm not advising you, I'm just asking a question here. And I mostly look at whichever coin does their best marketing. Whichever coin has good fundamentals is something I can ape harder into, because I know that as the market moves down eventually, which it always does, I won't get wrecked as hard. Because again, there's a difference between going down 80% in the bear market and going down 99.99, where the one you turn your $1 million into $200,000. Bad, but okay, you've still got money. And the other one, you turn your $1 million into $7, right? And you might not think, oh, that's impossible. Nah, I mean, you can't mess up that bad, right? Oh boy, do I have freaking stories to tell you, my brother. Oh, it will happen to so many people that play the game of buying the smallest coins, but that's also where the fun in that sometimes may lie. That you're buying a coin that all of a sudden is up 40x the next day. That's the appeal there. But many of the meme coins I've been able to do really, really well on are worth, I'm going to say 99% less from what they were before. And same for AI projects, some of them. But that's the thing, AI projects over the most part, I think, have some of the best ROI potential for this season. It's because the whole subject makes so much sense, is the most hyped up subject at the time, and that's why I like to go for all these different AI plays all the time. But you also have to keep in mind that just because it's hyped right now doesn't mean it will be in the next few months or years or when the market moves down. Like I just told you, many of the coins that were really, really hyped up, they're nowhere to be seen. But I counter that by saying some of them, even though they've gone from $30,000 to $100, I'm still holding on to, because you never really know what's going to happen in the next season. I remember, I guess not selling then, but holding on to one of the coins that went down 90%, right? I bought in before it even launched, went down 90%, and all of a sudden it did an 800x. And that can still happen, especially if they're in a position where they just have a way of finding the hype time and time and time again. So what is the lesson in that? What is the thought process there? I always act based on what is most likely to work out in that specific market. In this specific market right now, I like to stick mostly to majors, while still dabbling into some of the smaller coins, hyped up sectors on the side. As the market progresses, I go more into whatever is hype at the time. But again, there comes a counter. I go for majors very often when the news favors it, when they've got massive announcements. Sometimes they still do really, really well. Soon though, over the next few weeks, there's a very high chance though that I'm going to really skip away most of the major coins and buy smaller and smaller caps, because if this whole, what I've described 1,000 times in my videos, treasury build up where all these companies right now are all of a sudden deciding to buy a ton of cryptocurrencies as treasury, if that keeps cascading, they'll also do it for smaller and smaller coins, and they keep announcing that they're going to be doing it. And I think there's a good amount of money to be made right there. But I think also every single market, you logically keep going down to smaller and smaller and smaller coins. And yeah, just realized here again that what a freaking journey this was. I'm going from all the way from 1 cent all the way to freaking $8, even though you can't see it right here. But I just want to say, if I stay on top of my game and just consistently do exactly as I always say here, I don't think I can really do bad. Because every single bull market thus far, it's worked out beautifully. Why would it be different this time? And if it is, will it be so different that we can't act on it? What can we really be different? I think the only thing that could happen is that the market all of a sudden crashes way earlier, or it doesn't go from big to small to smaller. But I don't think that's really a possibility, because logically, as people make a lot of money with the majors, they want to go for smaller coins that have more potential. I don't think that part of the market can change, because I think that's also the reason a bear market starts regardless. I think that is the reason. So the only thing that can change then is that we don't really see a high for any coin at all anymore. But I keep saying about that is, if we don't, right? If we literally never see a high again, hey, at least I freaking tried, right? I may as well just ring it for the biscuit and just go for it, because if we go to zero from here, I have to just accept my loss. But I still don't see any possibility, any world where that happens. And that's the funny thing. If somebody asks me about crypto, I'll never tell them, oh, you should really get in, friend. You should really. I always let it up to them. But if you're asking me from my heart, what I believe, what I see happening, I personally see 0% chance, and this is again a personal opinion, not financial advice, of all this stuff not working out, which is why I pour my heart and soul into it every single day, and I'm buying like a freaking madman. But hey, you know what? That's about it for this little crypto update. I'll see you guys again in another one. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, especially about this post, about the fact that really, for the most part, if you want to get to greatness, oh boy, is it going to be a bumpy ride. But generally speaking, we kind of see the road to some extent. Then again, I still believe that the cyclical nature is just going to continue on, and all I got to do is just lock in and shut up.